Hello, good morning, wherever you are listening to another episode of Baa-Ram-Ewe podcast. I'm just going to double check. Again, this is only my second time live. I need to make sure that I am actually live on YouTube. So what I'll do is I will go over to YouTube using my phone and see that it is successfully yeah, we are live. Look at that. Becoming a bit of a pro at this. So today, as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm going to attempt to teach you how to code a goal scorer. We are going to use one that I believe will score, and it's a wild one. So if this hits, it should bring a lot of eyes to the channel. It is a risky one. But if you've watched the last two videos, you'll know a lot about, well, not a lot, but you'll know about the theory of gematria and numerology when it comes to sports. It is my belief that sports are rigged, and they are rigged by numbers and gematria, which is, in my opinion, energy based, which is why we see so many codes missing. Although when they hit, boy do they hit. I'm hooked. I've been doing this for three seasons, and as I say in most of my videos, Adam the Illusion. If you look up on YouTube, the Illusion, he has a website. You can pay $10 a month, which is nothing when in the grand scheme of things for the knowledge that he and a lot of his community bring to the table. It's allowed me to learn and now do this successfully myself. As I say, I use that word lightly because we can go through stages where every code hits for a period of a month or two, and then the same skill just seems to, we just end up losing it. It's like, what's going on? But that's the beauty of it. I mean, we would all be millionaires if this thing was an exact science. So there is that for the skeptics out there, and even myself. Like, it is really frustrating when you code a player to score or a team to win, and the code is so perfect and it doesn't happen. Ultimately, I say it's down to the coder possibly missing something, or that the people in control of whatever this is. That could be the referees, the bookies, the elites who run this format, this cipher, this theory, are messing with it. We won't know. I doubt we'll ever know, but one thing's for sure is when a code hits, it's really something to behold, and it allows you to see that there's something more going on in our world, and not just like pure skill, or there's something going on. What that is, we'll save that for another video, but today what I'm going to do is show you how I code a goal scorer. So first and foremost, I'm going to use my phone, and I'm going to use Word. Now, I haven't renewed my subscription, as you can see, but hopefully it'll still allow me to write it out in here. Normally I just get a pen and paper. I think the old-fashioned way is the best way. So that's what to do. If you want to follow along, this is going to be a slow process, so get out your pen and paper and follow along. I'm just checking that you can't actually see what's in front of me. So as Adam has done on his website, every day he posts the date, and you click onto it, and this is what you'll see. So I'll copy that now for you, and this is how I would write it out on a piece of paper. So I would begin by writing the date, which is 8/11. Oh, it's not working. 8 is nums lock on. Sorry, what's going on here? Technical difficulties already. Is it my keyboard? Oh no, might have to restart the video, guys. Technical difficulties. Now it's not responding. Right. We'll close that out and we will start it back up. Where are we? Where are we? It's possibly because I haven't renewed. I'm not paying a fortune for it. Very rarely do I use Word. But what we'll do is, these are formulas that I have created for Excel. No, it must just be Word. I'm not able to type into Word. I think I've got notes on my computer. Notes. We'll use Notepad, the Notepad app. Just as good as any. I'm sure the Word geeks are screaming at their computers right now. Right, so today's date is the 8th of the 11th. Sorry, I'm not using today's date because I'm coding Kieran Tierney to score for Celtic tomorrow, 4 p.m. kickoff. So tomorrow's date is a very symbolic date in 9/11/2025. Okay, now I know it's not the 9/11, but it literally says 9/11. This is the British 9/11. So what we'll do is we will write the date as 9/11, which is the 313th day of the year. You can write DOTY, whatever, it's not important. And then we will have the 52 days left in the year. Days left in year. That's how I write it. Also, this is something I did touch on in my last video, but every date has a date numerology. And tomorrow's date, need to remember that, is 65, which is 11 plus 9 plus 20 plus 25. Now, there are numerous ways of calculating the date numerology. There is 29, there is 20, there is 45, there is 18. Now, the first 5 on the Gematrinator app is the ones that I have been told to focus mostly on. So we'll leave that for now, but if you notice on the Gematrinator app, then it becomes where the midway is the day of the year and days left in the year, the 313 and the 52, and then it goes on to do some more date numerologies. It's up to you if you want to look at those. I don't think there's any harm in it, but that's how I would write out the date. Now we are going to identify the player that we're going to look at. This is probably the most difficult thing for me. When you look at a game, you've obviously got 20 outfield players to choose from, and it's a grueling process. So I would just, for beginners, stick with your own team. I'm a Celtic fan. I code Celtic every week. I code 8 or 9 of them. I used to do every single player, but it's time consuming, and unfortunately I don't have the time to do it at work anymore. So yeah, I just focus solely on the front players and a few subs for the value when they come on. But we're going to do tomorrow Kieran Tierney. Now if you look up, what I should do is go to transfermarkt.co.uk, sorry. Now this is where you're going to get all the stats for every player. I don't know who it is that has the time to update every single day stats and games played and goals scored and minutes that they played, but this website is very useful. So you would type in there Tierney, go to his profile, there he is, Kieran Tierney. And you can see that his date of birth is the 5th of June. So there's your first thing to do. The gematrinator is a gematrinator. And you would go to tools, date calculator. Now you're trying to work out the distance between his birthday and the match day. And then what you'll do is from the match day to his next birthday, right? So you can see why this is a grueling process. But his birthday is, as we said, the 5th of June 2025. And the game day is tomorrow. Which gives you, now as I said in the last video, there are multiple ways to write that date, and here they are at the side. Duration variations. So what I would do is go to my notes and write 157 days, comma, 22 weeks and 3 days. I mean, if you want me to do that, I can do. Right, 22 weeks, 3 days, 22W, 3D. Sorry if I'm smashing the keyboard. The keyboard is useless. That's why I originally thought it was that. 5 months and 4 days. Comma. And I think that's it, is it? Yeah. So there's 3 ways of writing his duration birthday. Now, this again I spoke about in the last video, that including end date is basically like say my birthday was tomorrow. Most people say it's 1 day to my birthday, but tomorrow is another day. So it's actually on the second day. Like my birthday is 2 days, like not 2 days time, but it's the second day. So this is what that allows you to do. So I would get into a habit of also doing the double duration for both with ED, including ED, and without ED. Just run them alongside. And this one, because we already have that, we can just go, we know it would be 158, 224, and 55, which is a big number. I know about the number 55 and what it relates to. So already alarm bells ringing there. I'll put a slash here. Sorry, I think I'm, yeah, this is what I would normally do, and I would put a slash there. So you know that this stuff is without ED, this stuff is with ED. Okay, now we need to do his birthday next year, which would be June the 5th, 2026, and the match day tomorrow is the 11th month and the 9th day, 2025. We'll take away the ED, and here you'll have 208. You see over here at the right hand side, you don't need to tick the boxes, it's all laid out for you. That's why this website is so great. 208 days, so we'll go back to my notes. 208 days, 29 weeks and 5 days, and 6 months, 27 days. And we'll do the same again. We'll put in the slash and we'll go, it would obviously be 209 days ED, comma, 29 weeks and 6 days. And here we have an interesting one. 6 months, 27 days becomes 6 months, 28 days, which you and I both know is 6 months, 4 weeks. So that becomes 64. So it's a 3-digit number, which is quite a high number for gematria, so doubt we'll find anything there. But because of the including ED, which may well be the case, because let's face it, right? What I was saying to a friend recently was, we don't know the date of the time in which Kieran Tierney was born. So that's another thing I think why ED, including ED, is very handy. Because say someone was born literally right now, which is 1:15 on a Saturday afternoon. They're not 1 day old until 1:15 Sunday afternoon. So the including ED gives you that leeway. Now again, I'm very aware because I have friends who are very skeptical and in that, where they would say, oh, you're just using that to give you a coverage of 2 days either side, so that if you get it wrong you can say, I get that, it's an easy thing to say, but it makes sense. Like, you're not a day old until you are 24 hours old, but people will call you a day old tomorrow. And when Sunday and you wake up and you have your breakfast, people would say you're a day old. You're not. So that, I think that is what that's for. Obviously, we don't know when Kieran Tierney was born, so it gives us that leeway. But he literally could be the 6 months and 4 weeks. And if we didn't have the ED, we would just be coding these players. So Kieran Tierney would be, his birthday is in 6 months and 27 days. And as you'll see later on, possibly, let's say Kieran Tierney was playing his 64th match for Celtic, he would have a sync there. It would be his 64th match for Celtic, and it's 6 months and 4 days to his next birthday. So you can see where I'm going to go with this. It's all about synchronicities, numerology, gematria, and finding as many as you can, and, you know, incorporating it into the date. And yeah, I'm just rambling on here, but I'm hoping that I'm making a good job of explaining this to you. So that's his birthday dates. Another thing I've looked out for is when he joined Celtic. Now, you can find that again. That's why his website is so amazing. If you scroll down here, you'll see the date in which Kieran Tierney joined Celtic, which was the 1st of July 2025. So we'll type that in. Is July the 1st, 2025, to the game date, which is the 11th month, the 9th day, 2025. And we'll do the same again. Here they are at the side. We have 131 days. 131 days, comma. 131 days. 18 weeks and 5 days. And 4 months, 8 days. Might need a little space in there. 8 days. We'll also do the thing with the including ED, which would make that 132 days. It would make it 18 weeks, 6 days. And it would make it 4 months, 9 days. Now that's very interesting, the 4-9. It's also, I've just realised I've missed out. 4 months, 8 days is actually 4 months, 1 week, 1 day. And that is also 4 months, 1 week, 2 days. I must not have saw that. See how easy it is. Yeah, 411 and 412. Right. Now the next thing, which is a bit more, you need a bit more graft, is Kieran Tierney's last goal. Now there are multiple things to look for in last goal. You could look for, I'll put a few more spaces in there. Right, you can go last goal for Celtic, last goal in general, last goal in competition. So that is, he's playing in the SPL tomorrow. So if his last goal was a goal for Scotland or a goal in the Champions League or the Europa League, it's again upon your own self whether you disregard that, because if he's playing in the SPL, the goal that he last scored could have been for Scotland or for Celtic in another competition. You can disregard that. It's totally your... There's no rules to this, and that is the worst thing about this thing for both sides, for skeptics and for people who are in it, is what is going to be the main thing that we look for. Do we use his last goal in general? Do we use his last goal in this competition as the numbers going forward? That's why I like to put them all down and make the biggest case for Kieran Tierney scoring. So, hopefully you can find one that suits all three. His last goal, hopefully, is for Celtic in the SPL. I know it's not. He hasn't scored for us since coming back, so this is going to be one that we'll need to do a bit of digging on. So what you do is you come down here and you click on full stats. And that's full club stats. You'll obviously have an international stats to look on. As you can see, he hasn't scored for Celtic this season, so we're going to have to go back to a prior season. Now, I have already done this, so I know he scored, and this is a big one here. This is actually quite good that you're seeing this, but I know his last goal was at the goal for Arsenal on his final game of the season to give him the 1-1-3. Now, I know you're saying 1-1-3, that's 1-3-1. No, you can use that. Again, this is where the subjectivity, but the way in which we talk is how many goals in how many apps. So you would say to your friends he scored 6 goals in 10 appearances. You don't say he's got 10 appearances in 6 goals. So that's actually 1-1-3, which is a huge number. If you've watched my last video, you'll know that. If I had known that day that he was on his 13th appearance, final appearance, I would have probably put money on that. And he also ended on 201, which is a huge number in Gematria as well. We'll need to go down, find the date. Here it is. The game was on the 25th of May 2025 versus Southampton. He scored in that game. So you're taking the date, 25/5/25. 5/25/25 to the game date. Again, everything's to the game date. And we'll take off the including ED. And it's giving us 168 days. Last goal in general. I think I'll put spaces in here just so it's easier. It stands out a lot easier. I think on a bit of paper and pen won't make a difference, but because I'm on a screen. So his last goal in general was 168 days, or 24 weeks, or 5 months and 15 days. Oh, 8 days. Okay. I think we'll put a little colon there. Right, now we need to find his last goal for Celtic, which was years ago. He left us, and I think it was 2020. We'll have to double check. We'll do that now. Sorry, we have another number. This doesn't seem to do the whole 5... The month, week and day here at the right hand side, so just be wary of that. And we'll also do, that's 521, which is 5 months and 2 weeks and 1 day. 2 weeks and 1 day. and we'll do the including ED, which will give you 169, 241, 24 weeks in 1 day. Obviously it would do 516 and 522. The last goal Kieran Tierney scored for Celtic. I think it was this season here. Let's just double check. Premier League, Europe League, no, it was the season before. 1920. Okay, I'm wrong again. Must have been 1819. Gee, it didn't seem like that long ago. He scored in the Europa League for Celtic on the... Look at that. Look at that. A day before the game. So today, the 8th of the 11th, as we record, 2018. Interesting. So what we'll do is we'll put that in. And then the game date. And what you have is just looking for some numbers that I know. 71, 841. I think that's too high. 3653. Okay, right. We'll take them down. So we'll go 7 years and 1 day. I don't know if any of the rest are worthy of taking down. I don't think any number will be as high as that, especially the 4-digit numbers. I would just disregard unless they pop up as a date or have zeros in there. Zero has no value in gematria, so you can just remove that. 841, we'll take that down just to see. 84 was that months and 1 day. 84 months, 1 day. Yeah, it was. Let's just add the 72, that's more like it. 72 is a Freemasonic number. So yeah, we can add that. 7 years, 2 days. See, the thing is, this is something new that I've just discovered. When coding the last goal, for example, we'll use today Man United versus Spurs, 12:30 kickoff. If you code someone to score a goal and the last time they scored was a 3 o'clock kickoff, no, sorry, we'll use the other way around. If tonight at 8 o'clock Liverpool play Arsenal, say, and that's not the fixture, but let's say it was, and the last goal that Mohamed Salah scored was a 12 o'clock kickoff, that's not quite 24 hours, well, whatever, how many weeks as well. So that's again why it's a good reason to use the including ED, or even code it the day before. So like maybe do if Kieran Tierney scored and it was a late night game, it wouldn't fully be a full cycle of 24 hours. So what you would do is code it to the day before. That would be more likely to hit. So yeah, we'll write that down. 72. 7 years, 2 days. Masonic number 72. Now, last goal in this competition. He didn't score in the SPL that year. What about, let's go 17-18. he scored 3 this season. His last goal was against Aberdeen. I remember that game well. That was a night game, I believe. 25th of February 2018. And game day. So we'll take away that, and we will do 402 weeks. 42 is a big number. Yeah, I'm not really seeing it. It's so long ago, I don't even know if the energy would be there for these. The only one I'm thinking about taking down there is the 402, 402 weeks. So that's what we'll do. 402 weeks for the 42. Right. Now that we've got that out of the way, this is the fun part. I like to write this one out. It's quite fun to do. Is we'll go to overall balance for some numbers there. And we can see that Kieran Tierney on Sunday will be playing his 362nd appearance. So that's how I write it out. 362 apps. And he could score, and that's how you have to basically word it. He could score his 15th goal of all time. 15th goal. And then just run along here and put in all time. Right. Now, for example, straight away, I could say like 15th goal, right? Now you would look up here and see if 15 was here. No, say Kieran Tierney was on 17 goals and could score his 18th goal on Sunday. You go, ooh, there's a sync there. It's 18-date numerology. That's one you would look for. Another one is like the 362. I doubt it would be here unless it was the 362nd day of the year. You could look for a 362. Now 362 can be written 36 days. What would it be? 36 weeks and 2 days, or yeah, as I said, 362 days. If it was 15, you're looking for like 15 days, or 2 weeks 1 day is 15 days, things like that. Right, so we've got that. Then we've got the Premiership, which he's playing in on Sunday, which is his, now here we go, this is what was the standout for me. He's playing his 105th appearance, 105 apps, and can score his 6th goal. And we'll run along to here and we'll write in the SPL total. Now that was the standout because I knew off the top of my head that 156, as you remember, 0 has no value in gematria and numerology. It literally has no value. There's the joke. 156 is, now if you don't believe me, I always like to show people this because me just saying it, list of prime numbers. I think like that whole saying seeing is believing, it really is. Like when someone tells you something, we're so trained to just not believe them unless they've got a suit and tie and they work for the government. We were led to not believe them. So I use this. I've got a lot of these websites bookmarked on my phone, and if you go down to the 156th prime number, as I said, I know that it is 9/11. And that's the game date, 9/11. So that was a big, bells ringing when I saw that, the 156 in the Scottish Premiership. So we wrote that in. Yep, we'll move on to, for Celtic, he'll be playing his. Now, I was told about this because I've shared this code with a couple of guys from the website, and they were informing me that this is also a huge number, because COVID was 18 years and 6 months after 9/11. Now, this code is all about 9/11, so that is a fitting thing to add into the code. It all helps and boosts your case. So he is playing his 187th appearance for Celtic, 187. I'll have to check that that's not a prime number. Not sure. Looks like a number it would be. And he could score his 9th goal. Now, remember that, guys, because as I say, I've already looked at this. That was a telltale sign as well. 9th goal for Celtic all time. What else do we have? We could check. That's it, because he's playing in the SPL. We've checked that. We've checked his all time, and we've checked his all. What? Oh no, sorry. What we could do, is always good to do this as well, is check what he would be. This is where it gets, again, it's tedious. It is. I know that. It's why someone asks you to tell them who's scoring. You really need about half an hour. I've got it down to about half an hour. I can do it, and I can do the lazy way, which takes 10 minutes. But to do it thoroughly, you really need about half an hour, and you need a pen and paper. But for example, Kieran Tierney has had 2 spells at Celtic. Luckily, this is his 2nd spell this season. If it was last season, I would have to look into those numbers. How many times he's played in the SPL 2nd time round. You're looking for certain numbers, but it's easy this time round because I just need to go to this season and notice that he would be 1 in 17, right? So I'll need to write that in. 1 goal in 17 if he scores tomorrow. 17 ups, 1 goal, and that would, you would just write this season, or Celtic season, and then his SPL stats this season. He would be 1 goal in 8, right? So he would be 8 ups, 1 goal for SPL season. So you're looking for 117, you're looking for 18 in his codes. Oh, look, there we have it. I said it earlier, 1 goal in 8 ups in the SPL on 18 date numerology. It's a good one. That is a very good one to find. 117, you would have to look that up. I did say I'd look up some of these for prime numbers. 187, we'll look that up just now. Is 187 a prime number? It is not. You could also look, what is the 187th prime number? Ooh, I wonder if that is that. Yeah, 1117. We're obviously too much out, but you see the idea. There's multiple variations, and you just need to build the strongest case as to why you think they will score. I find it more successful than just picking your favourite player or picking a player that's in form. And hopefully, if Kieran Tierney hits, even the minute that he scores will be a telltale sign. So yeah. What else we're going to do? This is what. It's another thing that I've started to add to my code is going to stats and going to record against. And I've only just started doing this the last couple of months, and I find it really helpful. So in all competitions, we are playing Kilmarnock tomorrow. Now, if you remember, Kieran Tierney can score his 9th goal for Celtic tomorrow of all time. His 9th goal in his 11th appearance versus Kilmarnock. There's your 9/11 ritual playing out. Or does it? But for just now, we will write that it would be his second. I remember that goal. What a goal it was. It was a League Cup game on a Wednesday night, I believe. Screamer from about 35-40 yards. So what we would write is he can go 2 goals in 11 appearances versus Kilmarnock. Now you would just write that in here as well. Sorry, it's the other way around. I really need to probably switch them for easy reading, but 11 apps, 2 goals. Now this is where you have to write versus Killy, all comps. Right? So you're looking for a 2-1-1. Now I know that, is it 1-1-2 or 2-1-1? Yeah, I'm so numbered in the head. Is the 47th prime number, which again is a Masonic number. It is the 47th is 2-1-1. There you have it. Another number, another sync. The 47th prime number is 2-1-1. So what I do in a bit of paper and pen is I would circle these, or I'd put a little note here. I would write 2-1-1 equals 47th prime. Right, and you would start looking for 47s as well as 2-1-1s. You know, if it was, I think we actually, do we have a 2-1-1? I thought we had a 2-1-1. No, maybe not. Anyway, you're looking for 2-1-1s and you're looking for 47s with that one. You're looking for 18s. You can look for 81s. I tend not to. I think the doing it the way we talk, doing it the way it's written out, you would do 1 goal in 8. So you'd look for 18s, not 81s. But each to their own. I'm not going to judge. If it works, it works. Now we need to do versus Killy in the competition we're playing. So you would go up here and you would go down to the Premier League. Is it the Scottish Premiership? Sorry. Show. And you have 9. 1 goal in 9. That's what you would write. 9th appearance. 9th up. And his first goal in the SPL versus them. Which is a number in itself. I know that 19 goal equals 19. So we'll write versus Killy SPL only. That just means that he's had 2 games versus Kilmarnock in other competitions, probably the League Cup and the Scottish Cup. So I'll show you certain values of words that you're looking for, i.e. 19, 17, 35 and 73 are all words, all numbers that equate to the word goal. So you're looking for those straight off the bat anyway, in the code. We are ready to move on to the gematria side. So what you do is you go to the gematria calculator, and just to show that I'm not bullshitting you, goal has the value of 17, 19, 35 and 73. So that's why I was saying the 1 goal in 9, you could say 19, which equals goal. A lot of players will score on their 9th appearance, they'll score on their 7th, they'll score 3 goals in 5 for 35, that kind of thing. So these are values that I look out for often. You could also do, I have a sheet actually, here it is beside me. If you notice all the values of words which pertain to goal scoring, i.e., I don't know if you can see that, I'll read it out to you. Goal has a value 35, 17, 73 and 19. Goal scorer equals 113, 50, 157 and 58. First goal. Now we can even predict when someone will score the first goal of the game, or they have first goal numbers. So the first goal is 107, 44, 136 and 55. First goal scorer is 185, 77, 220 and 94. Brace, so scoring 2 goals, is 29, 20, 106 and 34. Hat trick equals 90, 36, 126, 54. Header, I've seen people code headers. Header equals 41, 32, 121 and 31. And penalty kick, which I've even coded myself, is 127, 46, 178 and 62. Now I've given you the example there of goal just to show, but what I'll do is I'll say first goal. The main two obviously I remember because they're easy to remember is the 44 and the 55. But if, let's say for example, it was 44 days to Kieran Tierney's birthday, or 5 weeks and 5 days past Kieran Tierney's birthday, you would say he has first goal numbers. You're looking for more. One number sometimes can do it. The other one is, I just noticed it there because I see 2 words and 9 letters. 29 is first goal numbers, because if you look at the prime, you have the 10th prime is number 29. Now 10 looks like 1-0. The other one is 55. I know it's already there as first goal, but 55 is the 10th Fibonacci. Again, it looks like 1-0. So you would say that player has first goal numbers, first goal energy, however you word it. So this is what I've done for every Celtic player, because I'm a Celtic fan and I'm a nerd. I've got a book where I've written out, and I've even made an Excel spreadsheet, so I could actually show you that. In fact, that's what we will do if I've even done Tierney. I could double check. So we'll go to Google. Google. And we'll go to spreadsheets. Don't know if I did Tierney, to be honest. Tierney's gematria and stats I did. That's good for the purpose of today's video. So this is Kieran Tierney's gematria, right? These are the words that I don't know who made them up, but they seem to work. But obviously his name, everyone's name has a value, including yours. I could show you that. In fact, we'll do mine's. So we could do Ian Dybel. My name has a value of 80, 35, so I'd be a goal scorer. And I'd score first. 80, 35, 163 and 55. Now if I was a football player, what you would do is just put goal after. Because I mean, that's what the commentators shout, don't they? It would be like, Kieran Tierney goal! I mean, that sounds very nerdy, but it's literally what's happening. It's a Kieran Tierney goal. Who scored? Kieran Tierney goal. That's what it says in the video printer. So that's what you're doing. And again, so what you would do is you're looking for the 115, 52, 236 and 74 in my date of birth, in my stats. You know, that's the kind of thing you're looking for. You could also take out the first name, because as we know, it's the second name on the back of the shirt, and that's basically what they say on the video printer as well, is just Dybel goal. 91, 37, 179 and 53 would be the numbers you would look for. So just to double check that I've done this is we'll do Kieran Tierney and check the values of Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney. Right, 154, 73, 197 and 80. 154, 73, 197 and 80. Yeah. So these would be the... Now you have to watch, some players have middle names, some players have abbreviations, some players have hyphens. Not. Make sure you get these right. We had a player called Baa-Ram-Ewe. Who had a middle name called Uche, U-C-H-E. Make sure you have also a line with his full name, Adam Ichi Uche Ida Goal, added into there. Fortunately for us, Kieran Tierney, a pretty simple one, doesn't have any middle names, so these are the numbers you are looking for. Now, if my memory serves me, I definitely remember seeing the 42 for 402 weeks. What we'll do is we'll go down to the notes. 402 weeks since his last competition goal in last competition. There's a sync there. Any others that you're recognising? I don't know if there's anyone in the live, by the way. I'm not too sure if OBS have given me this live chat thing, and I don't know what I've done there. I'll take that away. Cancel. But if anyone is commenting, I'm sorry, I'm just not clued up with this kind of stuff just now. So beg my forgiveness. 197, 189, 90, 270, 99. 99 I do have. I don't know where, but I know I was talking to someone yesterday about this 99. In fact, did we do his last goal against Kilmarnock, which was on take calculator? Right, Kieran Tierney profile. That's bugging me there because I definitely there was a query, and this is why I came across the whole premise of using the ED or even coding the day earlier if it was a nighttime kickoff, in which the Kilmarnock game was. I remember it. It was a nighttime game in a League Cup, and Kieran Tierney scored a screamer, as I've already said. That was, let me see, was it 17-18? League Cup goal there, yeah, that's it there. So we will go down. We didn't do this. We did versus Kilmarnock and all that, and last goal in competition, and last goal for Arsenal, which was his last goal, but we didn't do this. So 8-8-2017. This is important. This is a good one. I'm glad I picked this up. 8-8-2017 to the game date, which is tomorrow, is 99 months and 1 day, right? Now, I can tell you right now, 991, you're not going to see that. Most players, in their career, they're playing about 600 games if they're lucky, if they're very lucky, in fact, injury-free, playing every week. 991 is not a number that I've seen often. When I looked up the Gematria stats and I noticed this 99 here, Kieran Tierney goal equals 99, I was saying to myself, it would be so good if that just said 99. It really would. It would be such a good hit. And then I was like, hold on a minute. Is it 99 in 1 day? Because this game, we'll click on it, was actually a Tuesday night. I said Wednesday. A Tuesday night at 7:45 kickoff. Now Kieran Tierney scored. Kieran Tierney scored on the 65th minute, which means it was, let's say, it was like 9 o'clock, back at 9 when he scored. So for you, like for example, let's say Celtic played 2 games in a row. 2 days in a row, which never happens. But let's say he did, right? Would it be fair to say that if Celtic kicked off at 3 o'clock the next day, it's not been a full day since Kieran Tierney scored? So isn't it the case that you shouldn't code it to the game day? You should code it to the day before. It makes sense. I'm not, like, the skeptics going, you're just making this up to make it suit. That is what you would do. I'm not 1 day old until the same minute of that day. So until until 9 o'clock on Sunday evening on the game day, it's still 99. It's not 99 in one day. And that's facts. Like, there's no arguing that. That's facts. So I'm getting passionate here because I really do feel like I've made an insight here that's worthy of changing a lot of why we miss. Because, as I said at the start, I've coded multiple players to score, and it's so pure and beautiful, and they don't score, and you're like, what? And it could be as simple as that. If I was to say, if let's say the game on Sunday was at 7:15, and Kieran Tierney scored at 9 o'clock, it would be unfair for me to have said it was 99 months. It's actually 99 months in one day. But that's just I always say this, when we don't hit a code, it's something that we've done. I genuinely believe that, because when a code hits, it really hits. And all the numbers that we've got written down here, what you might find is, for example, last goal for Celtic was 7 years in 1 day, or 7 years in two days. Kieran Tierney could score in the 72nd minute. And there could be other 72s, right? It could be 7 weeks and 2 days to his birthday. It could be his 72nd app for Celtic, or 72nd app in the SPL, or we could go to the 72nd prime, and that number could be in the code. So what you would say is Kieran Tierney's code revolves around the number 72, and then lo and behold, he goes and scored in the 72nd minute. You're just like, what is going on? And I've seen it so many times. So that is a huge one there. Where are we? Gematria. The 99 months, because what we would have to do is code it to the day before. Even though the game day is the 9th, it's not quite. When they kick off, he's on 99 months. He is on 99 months since he last scored, which is Kieran Tierney goal, 99 months. 99. That's a huge sync. I also think we've seen 131 in the code. I think it's up here. 131. 131. Yeah, look, joined 131 days ago. That's huge. So, another tip, you know how we have these slashes with the EDs? If you're starting to see a lot of syncs with the number on the left hand, these numbers here, say you were getting a lot of syncs, the 157, the 223, and the 54, I would disregard that. You'll know that he was probably born after the game, the time of the game. So 4 o'clock on Sunday is the game. Kieran Tierney was likely born after 4 p.m. on the day that he was born, which would make these numbers come into effect, and you could disregard these. That's not going to be the case for all of them. He could have joined early in the day of that day. His last goal, again, we've just discussed the goal times. You need to maybe factor those in. But yeah, I'm really excited about this, as you can probably tell. I think this could make a hell of a difference to goal scoring coding. So what I've done here is I've worked out the values of all his gematria, and then I've also done the same for every club that he will face this season. Now, the only number that syncs up with his name is the number 73, which I don't think we saw in the code, other than I think the 73 is a prime number. It's the 21st. So then you would look for not only 73s, you would look for 21s. Now, is it 21? No. 21, 201, 21. In fact, I think we didn't we? We did have a 2201. Anyway, I'll be writing this out and posting it on the website, and I'll maybe even start posting them somewhere for my followers to see. But yeah, that's something. Where was I? On here. So you're looking for the 73. Now, I haven't been keeping up because I've resorted back to just writing them out on pen and paper, But you could do this, and you could also use, if you're not good at Excel, don't ask me. No, I could give you a few tips, but I struggled with this. I had to get the formulas written out for me, and I just copied and pasted them. But I know how to do the color coding, so you could type all these numbers into a format, and whenever they show up in the club that they'll be playing, they ping up green. And same with here, the numbers 17, 19, 73 would ping up in orange, just to make it stand out a bit more. The other thing I could do that I could show you, and that's what I'm saying, I've said this to a load of people, is the best way to learn is, if you support a football club, learn everything you can know about the football club you support. Learn everyone's date of birth, write everything down, look for certain patterns in the goal scoring of certain players. For example, person I talked to recently is a big Leeds fan. He knows that there's certain players that play for Leeds that score on dates that relate to like COVID. I think it's Perot is a very synced up guy with 9/11. So in COVID, so anytime there's a date that relates to COVID, he would have put him on to score. Not so much this season I hear, but you know, there are some players that are linked to, for example, in my team, Callum McGregor shares the same date of birth as Trump. So any number that relates to Donald Trump, or a date that relates to Donald Trump, I'm looking for. That's actually quite telling there. I know that is this been updated? No, it hasn't. So just ignore this. But the 137 I know is the 33rd prime number. It's a huge number. There it is there. 33rd prime number. That would have been huge. But what you do is, all you do is change this to the game day, which is, I'll do it now and you'll see what happens. It is the 9th of the 11th, 2025. And when you tap there and drag it all down, oh, see, I'm not the best with this stuff, but if you drag that down, oh, it's because I don't have a bracket. I don't know what I've done there. And you would, you don't drag it down, do you? You copy. So you would do copy and then highlight the column and Control V for paste, giving you everything. Now ignore this final column. I don't know what I've done, but as you can tell, 1 month and 6 days does not equal 1 month, 1 week and 2 days. It's 1 month, 1 week and 1 day. A lot of them are just, I don't know what. So I've been double checking the final column, but it's a big help. You'll notice here 157, Kieran Tierney, 157 tells me to look at my sheet, and goal scorer equals 157. That's a great little insight. I didn't know that one. We didn't cover that in the code, but that's a great one. You would also do the same for this column. And it would do the same. There must be it's because Callum Osman's birthday has been and gone since the last game. So I would then have to go in here and change that to 2026. Yeah, so you're looking for numbers here that relate to 62. What's 62? 62 is penalty kick. Now that's interesting because Arnie Engels is our penalty kick taker. So watch out for that. Watch right out for that. That is good. I'll maybe code him before the game tomorrow. He cost me £760 a couple of weekends back, so he's due me one. But yeah, I think you can see from what I've done. Hopefully, if you have any questions, I'd love this to be back and forth. The skeptics as well, if you think I'm off my rocker, get your comments in. We'll go to the code. So you can start I would write out your code. You could say things like Kieran Tierney can go in his 105th appearance, he can score his 6th goal. And then in brackets, 156 equals the 900. Sorry, I'm roundabout. What is it? The 156th prime is 911. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Tongue tied there. So you've got here like 156 because 0 doesn't count. So you've got 156 is the 911th prime. No, 911 is the 156th prime. The game day is 911. That's a huge sink. That is a huge sink. Kieran Tierney can go 1 goal in 8 appearances on 18 date numerology. Kieran Tierney's birthday, if you remember, what's his birthday? It is the 5th of June, and lo and behold, you've got 6-5, which is June 5th. You could look for 29s, you could look for 20s. 52, I know, is Celtic, so he's got that on his, but so does the rest of the starting lineup. But I'll just show you that calculator. This is also handy to write out your team's name in every form it can be written. So I would do it like this, and you're looking for numbers in his code. So you've got Celtic, which equals 52, 25, 110 and 38. You could do Celtic FC, which equals 61, 34, 155 and 47. And you could do Celtic Football Club. So there, you're looking for these numbers throughout his code, because basically he's playing for Celtic, he has Celtic energy, and if he has numbers in his code, it just intensifies the energy. So did I see, I know we have a 47, we have the 211, which is the 47th prime. We have the 6-5, the date numerology, and it's his birthday, probably why he's playing for Celtic. And the 313, did we have a 313? Oh, it's the 313th day of the year, that's where it is, which doesn't tell you Kieran Tierney will score unless he has a 313. But you know, it's good to write these things down, get them into your head, learn about your club. So guys, I think I'll leave it there. I've been going quite some time, and I don't want to fill your heads with too much information at the one time. This is a lot to take on. As I say, I've been doing this 3-4 years, and I'm no expert. I can go through spells where I don't miss for a couple of months and then can't hit. This season I've started off very poorly, I'll admit that. But the last week to 2 weeks, I feel like I've discovered something massive with not only the whole looking at the time of the goal and how that relates to the kickoff, but there's a few things. The manager, the video I made last week was mind blowing for me. Like, I genuinely felt like I can code even who might be the next manager of Celtic, which I may reveal. But yeah, it's so fascinating and it's interesting, and I would love for more people to get involved. And if you want to ask me any questions, and like I said, like I've said this to a few people in the community, that starting a WhatsApp group or a Telegram channel and learning from each other, because more heads the better, more eyes on games, throwing things into the group. And once, you know, I think the issue is a lot of people in this community are very secretive, very I would say defensive of their community. Like Adam, for example, great guy, built up a website, he's got such a real gift, but there's Adam's angle is more so about the Bible and God and giving your life to God, and the wars coming in the end of times. And there's a lot of people on the website, I believe, through talking to them, don't agree, and they're just there to make a bit of money. And that's where I'm at. I'm the same. And money in this day, everyone needs money. Everyone needs money. And I know if you're a God believer, you're supposed to believe that it's a sin and gambling's a sin. But everyone likes a bit of money. We all gamble to have a better life. The wages we're making aren't as good anymore. And it's a vice that we all hopefully can control, and I would say gamble responsibly. But this, since I've learned this gift, my betting success has gone through the roof. And again, I know I have bad spells, but the average gambler is maybe winning the odd bet once or twice a year, maybe £300-400. Whereas I've won bets 1200, 1700 in one night, 300-400 every couple of weeks, betting on goal scorers. I'm in contact with someone who has an even bigger gift than me that can code who's going to win the game, and even I've seen coders do it, predict score lines. I was one goal away from predicting a Celtic scoreline last year, but I'm starting to see things and I'm getting better, and I'm adding more and more to my codes, and it's something that's always with me. Any minute, I'm not a TV watcher. I think I've said that if you've watched me for years. I'll sit on my phone and code all night. It's so fun to do. When you see a code and you see numbers connect like we just did there, it's exciting. You're like, is he going to score? Is he going to score? And then watching the game, having your little bet on, and then he scores, and it's like on the minute that you said he would, or the code's all around that minute. It's just mind blowing, and it's making me question: do we have free will? Are we in a coded reality? Is it like, for example, today if I typed into the Gematrinator, Ian lottery win, and it came up with today's 811. Imagine it came up with 118. That's the value, and I went out today, put on a lottery ticket and won. That's extreme because that's just one sink. For this kind of stuff, I think you need more. You can't just have like Kieran Tierney playing his 7th game for Celtic, can score his 7th goal. That's not enough. You need more than that. It could happen, but in my opinion, you need more. That's the kind of thing that I'm starting to think. That our lives, is our actions and movements coded. So yeah, on that, I'll leave you with that. That's it's getting a bit deep there, but please like and subscribe. Share to your friends. I've got very thick skin. Anyone that knows me and has watched me over the years, I'm a flat earther. I always use that one. That's probably the most triggering of the conspiracies, and I've been that guy that'll sit in a canteen or sit in a group of people and talk about flat earth and bring on the hate, because when you have knowledge about this stuff, there's a comfort level there, and I'll teach people, and the people that are skeptics I'll try to convince, but ultimately I've yet to see it happen where someone that's so against a belief system or a theory, if you don't go into it with an open mind, it's probably not going to happen for you. You've just got to accept that there are NPCs in our world, and ignorance is bliss, and it's got too deep with them. But that's fine. Each to their own, and no judgment there. Anyway, guys, I've rambled on enough. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Get your comments in. I don't care about likes and subscribes. To be fair, it is nice to see that people are awake and my numbers go up. Gives me a bit of hope. But I want that interaction. I want people commenting, whether it's negative or positive. It's all good to me. I just want to have that conversation with people, and if I could just get one person on board that's as keen as me and is asking questions and starts to code and seeing that success, it would be amazing. I'd love that. As I say, more heads the better. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys, and I'll talk to you later. Goodbye.